How's it going, guys? Welcome back. It's time to go through 20 through 1. Last call, NHL 20 giveaway. You guys want to jump in that? Be in the comment section. Be drawing it probably Sunday. Sunday should be right. So you got about 2 days depending on when you watch this video. But starting off with number 20 is Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny dropping a career high in goals 36 and a career high in assists 63 this past season. Ultimately, his size is what keeps him from seeing an upgrade, I believe. Got to keep in mind that physical stats affect the overall as well. For that, 90 for Johnny is fair. 19 is Mikko Rantanen. Mikko, what a year. Back-to-back seasons over a point per game. Would have contended for 100 had he played all 82 this season. Mikko with the big +3 and deserves every bit of it. 18 is John Tavares. Tavares is kind of in that is who he is type of rating right now. He's been in the league for nearly 10 years, and it'll be difficult for him to see a rating change, albeit he did just score a career high in goals 47 by a landslide, and I could see the argument for him getting an upgrade. A 90 shall do, though. 17 is Brad Marchand. Finally, personal opinion aside for this guy, he finally got a long-awaited, deserved upgrade. Man's been known for his two-way ability, but has been overlooked for his actually very, very good ability to put pucks in the back of the net. 34 plus goals in every season for the past 4 years for Marchand. 16 is John Gibson. Interestingly enough, Gibson didn't make EA's top 50 list last year, even though he was an 88 overall and the 50th best player was an 87. Riddle me that one. Glad to see Gibson did get some respect up here, though. We talked about how Bob's save percentage earlier being the best in the league over the last 4 years. What we didn't mention was that he was tied for the best in the league over the last 4 years with none other than John Gibson. I know the opinions are mixed out there about Gibby, but I'm a fan and I love the 90 overall. 15 is Austin Matthews. Matthews has proven he can play on both ends of the ice and that he's an elite even strength goal scorer. What he hasn't proven is he can stay healthy all season. When that happens, the sky's the limit for this guy. 90 right now for Matthews. 14 is Alexsander Barkov. All right, pick your jaws up. I can explain. First off, the man dropped 96 points last season and was a point per game the year before. But more importantly, he is a very, very respected forward for his defensive abilities, finishing top 5 in Selke voting each of the last 2 seasons. Great offensive numbers coupled with being able to bump that defensive awareness up into the 90s will result in a guy being a 90 overall. I'm not sure how I feel about him at 14, but the 90 overall does make completely sense and I respect it. You got to keep in mind here, I guess we could bring it up real quick with the EA rating system. The EA rating system and overall system and everything, it is very, 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 very basic, where it doesn't matter, like, you don't really, you don't really have a separation from left wings to right wings to centers to defensemen. Like, all the stats are just mumbled and jumbled together where you have to give, if you want to give a defenseman an 85-90 shot, even though he shouldn't have an 85-90 shot, he should have, most of them probably should be in the 60s because they score like 5 goals a season. They should be in the 60s, but because all the ratings are like just smacked together, they have to be an 80-90 or there'd be all defensemen would be like 75 overalls. So because they don't really have like a complex figured out rating system, you see stuff like that. Like with Barkov is another great example. And some of these other, defensive forwards that you see on this list, like, yeah, they're up here, but they're up here because they have like a 92 on defensive awareness. And that defense, the two things that drive your overall the most, defense, offensive awareness. So when you're a forward and you put up a lot of points and you have a good defensive abilities, and you get that defensive awareness up to a 90-92, like that can literally be the difference in a 90 and an 85 overall, being a guy with like a 92 to like an 80 on the defensive awareness or something. Maybe not that drastic, but that's how it is because of the way the rating system is set up. So keep in mind whether you agree or disagree with whether they're ranked. You have to keep in mind the rating system being how it is plays a big role in where these guys are. That's how we usually project it throughout the years as well. 13 is PATRICE Bergeron. Speaking of Selke, if it isn't the Selke man himself, who's been a Selke finalist 8 straight years now. 1 word for you, Bergeron. Stay healthy. Technically, that's 2 words, but 2 straight years now, Bergeron was set for dominant seasons, but missed 20 games. If he stays healthy, I think he's a 91, maybe even, yes, you hear this right, an argument for 92. Like we just said with Barkov, the defensive awareness stuff really affects players' overalls in this game. Stamkos, 12, 90 overall, was a 91. Kind of surprising seeing Stamkos get the downgrade here. Coming off a season where he scored the most goals he has in a season since 2011 and the most points he's had in a season ever. Not sure I can agree on this one. Stamkos, I don't know. I don't like the downgrade here. Maybe 12 is all right. Don't like the downgrade. 11 is Malkin. What up with the -25, bro? I don't really know where else to look here besides that it was a textbook Malkin season. He was over a point per game. More importantly, to be a textbook Malkin season, he missed over 10 games due to injury. Maybe he has a limit on how many guys that want a 91. They want to have him as a 91 because I don't really understand why else they downgrade him here. Like I said, he's injured. He puts up over a point. It's what he does every year. Easy fix would be to give players 99 to 98 overall. That way there's more separation. But instead, we see the top 50 being pretty much separated by 4 overall points. So really they're not, I don't know, not a lot of separation. Maybe if you see, like I said, maybe you see guys like a 97, 98. We was talking about the rating system a couple of nights now. See that 97, 98 guys are higher. Then you can see like a Malkin at a 92 or 93. And then you have some guys behind him, 90, 89. I don't know. Continuing on, Carey Price, 10th. The year Carey Price turns over the reins, it looks to officially be here. I thought the day would never come. Still a tremendous goalie nonetheless for Carey Price. 10th right now, dropped 1 overall point down to a 91. 9 is Andrei Vasilevskiy. The reins have been turned over to none other than Andrei Vasilevskiy. Now, they're both 91s, but you see he is above Carey Price, kind of like they did with McDavid and Crosby a couple years ago. We're kind of seeing that transition here with Vasilevskiy. Honestly, I'm very surprised he's this high, though, if we're being completely honest. We just went down the Bob road and the Pekka winning Vezina last year and couldn't even get a 90 overall road, but I'm happy to see it. The best goalie in the league last season should be the best goalie in the game to start next season. If he does bad, then a roster update downgrades him. I don't think that'll be the case, though. Man's been lights out the past 2 seasons. Number 8 is Drew Doughty. Doughty, another controversial one, and everybody questions why he's always so high on the list. Doughty, same story with Kopitar, though, just on an all-around down season for the Kings. 1 bad season, brush it off. 2 bad seasons, then you need to start worrying. This is Doughty's first bad season. We'll look for a bounce-back season this year for him to stay up here in his top 10 right now at that 91. Number 7 is Victor Hedman, big body guy and has the ability to put up points. I think this was the year EA wanted to give this guy the highest rating among defensemen, but they just couldn't. Not after putting up 50 points on the offensive powerhouse that was the Lightning this season. 91's a great spot for him now. 6 is Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane getting that upgrade. We talk about guys being who they are. Kane fits that build. With over a decade in the league now and no regression in sight, you kind of expect his overall to remain unchanged as it did. Number 5 is Nathan MacKinnon. Remember when this guy won Rookie of the Year, then had a sophomore slump, then had a junior slump, then had a senior slump, and it was like, what happened? But him and Rantanen, man, both of them, something just started clicking 2 seasons ago, and he's been wreaking havoc on the league since. 97 points and 99 points over the past 2 seasons, with 80 of those being goals. I'm not sure what to think of this one. Do you guys think Mac is a top 5 player in the league right now? If not, who do you put over him? Questions that need answers. Definitely a lights-out player nonetheless. Number 4 is Alex Ovechkin. Best goal scorer in the league. Still isn't letting age catch up to him. Gonna be, what, 34 next season? Still dropping 50 burgers, too. Only led the league in goals 6 of the last 7 seasons. Not too bad. No questions he belongs this high on the list. Number 3 is Nikita Kucherov, and I'm gonna do it. Crosby fans, close your eyes and your ears, maybe claw out your nose. Cooch was the best player in the league last season. I said it. And before we play the Tampa card, this guy's been carrying any and anyone that he's put on lines over the years. Not to mention McDavid played with a 50 goal scorer and Crosby has a power play with Kessel, Letang, and Malkin. So that excuse should be thrown out the window. The only person with more points than Cooch in the last 3 years is Patrick Kane. The only guy with a better points per game over the last 3 seasons is McDavid. The only person with more goals than Cooch in that time is Kane and Ovi. Cooch was the best player in the league last season, and sure, we can sit down and say who's the better overall player going forward and say, yeah, McDavid, sure, whatever. In a game that comes out yearly, though, after a historic season Kucherov just had, I find it extremely disrespectful that he is at the very least not a 93, and honestly, I think he should be a 94. A 94 would say, in essence, he's not better than McDavid, but has a skill set to put him in the conversation with him. If he doesn't keep that pace up from last season, sure, downgrade him, but until then, how can you look past the fact that this guy is a premier goal scorer, which alone gets granted very high overalls, but has overall, he's been a premier playmaker as well. This game comes out once a year. No reason to live in the past or in the future when it comes out once a year. Live in the present, and until that puck drops in October, Cooch is the undisputed best player in the league, and he's ranked number 3 on this list. Number 2 is Crosby at 93. I still can get behind it for sure, and believe me, he deserves every bit of that 93. Like I said, just got a little Cooch mess in there. Number 1 is Connor McDavid, a generational player nonetheless. There is no question about it. Don't get me wrong at all from what I've said before. I do think McDavid should be a 99, though. This is just kind of where I bring up the rating system flaw thing again. I do think he should be a 99. I think McDavid should be a 99 overall because he's the best player in the game. Why do we have, if 99 is supposed to be the best stat, why isn't he a 99? If 99 means best player in the league, why isn't he that? He's the current best player in the league. Yearly game, you put the best player in the league at a 99, you put the second best 99, 98, whatever you have to do. At that point in time, then you could say, well, if you put McDavid at a 99 and you say Kucherov 98, Crosby 97, or Kucherov 97, 98, Crosby 98, and then you can look back and you'd be like, oh, well, at that point in time, then we can go and say, oh, we'll give somebody like Ovechkin a 96 and maybe a McKinnon a 94. 95, and then Kane probably a 95. And then you look back at guys like Malkin, and some say, well, Malkin could then be a 93 or a 94, and you go down the list, you know, you so on and so on. Then you start to see the skill gap put back in this game, because a 99 compared to a 90, where you should feel that superstar kind of player. I don't know. That's just, it's always been my thought on it. Then you wouldn't have 4 overall points separating the top 50 players, right? We're going from 88 to 92 for the top 50, the third player in the league. So maybe get some separation, or just my thought. That is the conclusion of this list. I think we're going to do a snubs list. You guys want to see a snubs list? I think we'll do that as well. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.